Legends, we are back, and we are back at some Mortal Sins. So I got a few questions that I needed to answer, and I was gonna wait until next week, but I figured we can do that now. So this is gonna be a little bit of tactics, guides, this current state of the game, and things like that. So it's interesting right now that there's really nobody else covering the game besides somebody who was actually in my Discord, G-A-H. I'm gonna put the link in the description for his YouTube channel, so you guys show him some love and follow him, because he's covering stuff that I really just don't have time for, to be honest with you. I like, obviously I do a lot, especially now that I'm covering variety stuff now with PC, fighting games, and mobile all at the same time. It's hard to stay in any one thing. I always play this game though, every single day, which is why you see my rank still rising and my character still getting stronger, because at least an hour to a day I still play this game. But as far as like getting in-depth guides, I just really don't have the time for that type of stuff anymore, which is why you don't see that type of stuff so much, because that's a question people ask me, why don't I make like in-depth guides all the time? Like, that actually takes time, and this game takes time. So, and that's actually one of the detriments for this game, and I think why it doesn't get covered a lot. It's not easy to cover it. People will come in and look at me and look at my account and see how strong I am, and then they start playing, and then it'll be like, dang, like, I don't like if you guys haven't noticed, and I'll give you a brief breakdown on this. The current YouTube landscape when it comes to global is very lazy. Like, and I talk about this all the time. I complain about it all the time, how people just want to copy, and not actually do work. And this game is suffering for that type of stuff. Other games like Roka, Honkai, Impact is another game like that. When you compare Honkai and Genshin, you're like, they're literally almost the same game. Basically, same type of characters, everything else. And the difference between Honkai and Genshin is Genshin's easy. It's just easy. They designed it that way. They even came out and said they're not going to make it harder because they don't want to make it harder for people, so they have to struggle to play the game. Because Honkai does that. Honkai is hard. Honkai, you got to earn it. They realized they made $1 billion on the easy casual mode game. They're like, nah, we ain't doing that no more. So that's the landscape of gaming. So when you look at this game, in concept, once you understand the game, it's easy, but this game has a lot that you need to actually pay attention to. So when you come into the screen, you look at all your stuff right here. You're looking at all this right now. If you're new, you're like, what the hell is all this? like, you have your cast, you have your Soulpedia, which is extremely important because that covers all of the power and the accumulation that you need to actually push your Soul Link. Your Soul Link gives you HP and attack, which there we go. HP, attack, and defense, and that's universal through all your characters. So as you level and get your characters stronger with EXP and everything else, that pushes your Soul Link, and then, you know, you get more power on your account. This is something that is absolute on your account. This is like more or less for the new people. And it's just something that you should definitely be worrying about and paying attention to. So you see, I am missing just not a lot of characters, actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm missing 9 characters. We're at 88% right now. And what ends up happening with this is you have to make choices. Now, literally the characters I'm missing right now is me making a choice not to do that. That's literally what this is right here. All the characters I'm missing is me making the choice not to get those particular characters. And some would say that they that maybe they like Astaroth, maybe they like Asmodeus, but at the time with both Astaroth and Asmodeus, I was in between banners, and I decided, you know what, I want to save for a different banner, which allowed me to get other stuff. Now I have the newer version of Asmodeus, not the OG version, and I have the newer version of Astaroth and not the OG version of that, and I have the OG version of Sariel and not the new version of Saria, which is amazing. And I actually skipped out on Sandal Fawn. I just didn't care because I had her in JP, and I didn't care on the new version of Raphael or Gabriel too. And this Minerva and Viola are Awaker characters, and they're going to be in the Awaker banner eventually, so I just didn't even bother with that at all. And the rest of these characters, everything just eventually comes regardless anyway, so I don't necessarily have to go that crazy about it. Now, talking about the whole reason why the game itself is covered and not covered, it's a lot with do the content creators feel that the views and the amount of work that's going to come along with it coincide. You're going to have to work to play this game, and obviously the views is not a lot. You're going to usually end up with like maybe 2 to 3 to 4 to maybe 5K on the video in this. Unless you're cheating, which is YouTubers who do that. So if you're cheating, then it don't matter. Like they're just gonna come into this with get like 10, 15, 20K views on this when we all know that there's no way in hell like that. Like, and that's another reason why you don't see a lot of creators who come in there, because there's a lot of gacha. I've said this and documented before. There's a lot of gacha creators who are cheating views wise. And it's too blatant if you come into a game that doesn't have that category. And on top of that, you won't make money because all the views are going to basically be from bots. This means you're getting no views from YouTube, which is basically how that whole system works. And it's just not worth it for them to do such a thing. So that's why you just don't see a lot of people actually coming here and doing that. So no, I don't know what to tell you guys. I asked people to come and cover the game more, and I've had a few people say they don't even want to be bothered because in the beginning the community was hella toxic. They were toxic towards me. They were toxic to towards other people, and that scared people away. It's not like that now, but the damage is done. Like even now, a person will come and tell me, "Hey, somebody said this." They talk about I can't chase and argue with people over this game. Like I don't have time for that. I got way too much stuff to do right now, and too many companies to cover games and stuff to be arguing with this. Like the company itself, User Joy itself, likes me and watches me. I don't need to argue with some random nobody somewhere who's mad who don't even know me. Like it's not worth it. So with that said, that covers most of the questions that I've been asked. As far as what you should and shouldn't do in this game, I'm not going to do that for you. However, I did have one question where somebody said, who's the best character in this game? Or who's the most meta character? And my answer is still the same answer from the beginning of the game. It's OG Lucy. And the reason why it's OG Lucy is because she never goes out of meta. She's not top meta, but she never goes out of meta. And she can always be built. You can always build on her. Every new system, she's in every single system, and she's a Sin. And they gave events for her, and they always give events for her. So she's probably the most powerful character in this game across the board because you could just build her infinitely. Basically, you can get her to 120. She's in the con system, so she can scale off of that. She has a passive that basically gives her extra shield and speed. So then you can just turn around once you get really good rolls on gear and go all strength, and then she just becomes like a bruiser that can't freaking die. That's fast. Speed in this game kills. It just does. So if you have a character that can essentially be a bruiser, that can get really high DPS, that can nuke, that can take advantage of every system in the game, and they have events that keep giving you dupes of her, she's obviously the best character. People are going to say other things, but that's just not going to be the reality of the situation. This is the best character, and she still is the best character in JP right now. Now, like I said, people are going to argue and say that, hey, like Winter and then Winter Lucy and Winter Satan is going to be better, but until they can scale the same way, like this particular character, this character is still always going to be the best character. That's just real. It's the realism of the situation. Now, like I said, when both Winter Lucy and where is she? Is she on the bottom? And Winter Satan get to that same position, then they'll overtake her. But for right now, global wise, they can't overtake her because they can't scale that high. You have normal right there, like you have the normal Satan that goes for it, but both Winter Lucy and Winter Satan are not in the con system. And as long as Lucy is at OG, she's gonna have the opportunity to scale off of all of this right here, which is the HP, the attack percentage, the defense, and then the speed. Didn't I add the speed? Did I not add the speed? What? Oh, here we go. Now I added the speed. She's always gonna have this, which means that raw stat wise, she's just gonna be GG. She's just gonna GG on people. And then when you actually get the ability, because I don't have that ability right now, and they didn't put that in the game just yet, for her anyway. Once she starts to get the ability to have her own blood packs, which she will eventually, but she doesn't have one right now, that makes her just even better. So if I had a meta list, she's going to be number one on the meta list because she just scales and like infinitely, basically, compared to everybody else. And she really should be, because she's the OG character. She's the MC, so she really should be the best character in the game. And in my opinion, she just is. Now, with that said, as far as building, in the beginning, when you're in the beginning of the game, what you can probably do is you can use her as a speed set and as just a clear out. What I mean, basically, like I'll show you just initially. So I like have her speed crit. Obviously, it's not a lot as far as the gear. Gear definitely could be better, but this is where she's sitting at right now. So essentially, because I'm building Furka a certain way, you can make Furka the speed lead. You got to get like some really good speed stats for everything and else like that in general. But once you get to that point of making Furka like 2,500 as far as speed, where she basically is going to come out there, do her attack, and speed set the table and push everybody else along. What that does is that allows you now to do with this particular character to make her crit and crit damage. And that's scary, considering that you can basically make that scale forever. That's really scary. That basically means that she's gonna be sitting up there like 6-7K attack and just breathe on somebody and they faint. Basically, there's not many people in the game right now who can do that and still be fast. She's still going to be a fast unit. Even if when I take the speed away from her right here, she's still going to be a fast unit because she has the passive that is going to make her be a fast unit. Which the speed boost, like she's still going to have that. So right here, when the battle starts, increases the caster's speed by 40% for 3/3. She's still going to have that too. So she's still, even with Furka, even if Furka somehow gets stopped, you can still do something and make sure that she actually gets the nuke. Now, I was asked also, which we're going down the line, I'm just not really saying the questions, but I was asked also, is there any other builds that are viable besides just being speed? Because the person was like, it's boring. Everybody does speed, talk about speed. Like I just said, the crit and crit damage works, but you need to protect them or they'll never get to do a turn. So you gotta have somebody fast who can shut down or speed everybody up, which again, that's what I use Furka for. Or you can use resistance. You can get your resistance as high as you can, which is one of the things I did with Cherry Vintage. And go resist set, where you start to push your resistance. Now, I need to obviously work on the resistance. This is just gear that I kind of like put on, but what you can actually do is make it so they don't get stopped. get some effective resist as high as you could possibly get. This is not great, but that 56? Yeah, 56, 10, 49, yeah, 56%. We definitely gotta get higher than that. But what you can do is you can do that and get yourself close to as 100 as you can, and then, in a rare percentage that you actually get stopped somehow, but you can actually make it so that the character still has some type of nuke. They can actually CC. They can actually speed people up. Gotta make them tanky though as well. Make sure they have some type of HP, some type of life and defense and stuff like this, so they can actually live. And you can actually do that. I've actually fought people before in JP, and I couldn't kill them. Like, I just couldn't kill them. They was like around my power, but they had. I'll show you literally what they had. They had Bilal. They had Tentacle Girl, Thalia. They had Sandalafon. They had Meta, which the other Meta, not this Meta. This Meta. And they had Esmara. I could not kill that team. And then they beat the life out of me because it was basically bruisers and a healer. And it worked. I couldn't do anything. And whenever I did kill somebody, Esmera or Meta would bring them back. Actually, they had, I think they had Sariel too, as the 5th character. That was a nightmare. That was an absolute nightmare. There was absolutely nothing I could do with that team. I couldn't do hardly enough damage, and when I finally did kill somebody, they brought the character right back, and then I finally lost. I think I lost Panna, and then I lost Winter Lucy, and I just plain lost. So it does work. You just need to put things together, and you can have like a full revive team, basically, where you can just they just don't die. They can heal through stuff, and you just make them tanky, and that's toxic, but it worked. Like, it simply works. So, just putting the idea out there. If that becomes meta or something like that, I'm sorry, community. But I gotta tell the truth. You can actually have a dot team where you can go with Michael. Let's see. We I actually did this before. I had Michael. I had Phoenix Oriole right here. I had Shino. And who was it? I have to go back and look at the video. There was one more person who had a dot, but I had 4 different sets of dots going up in. And I remember showing it on video in the first round. I didn't kill anybody, but there was 4 sets of dots in one round, and like half the team fainted basically from dots. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in this game. It's kind of hard to do that because you need ramp up, and you need to be faster and have setup, because if they're faster than you, it's like hard to have like a dot team be faster than everybody. That is a thing. But the ramp up is pretty good. The other thing that you can actually do in this game is you can use character trait setups. And historically, the easiest character trait setup is OG Lucy and Swimsuit Lucy, because they have a passive setup. You also have Michael's setup, which she has a passive setup as long as Pride Lucifer's on the, she gets an extra as well. And there's a few characters who have a setup like that. You can pretty much have all those characters out at the same time too, and have like a nice little synergy going on. And I've seen people do that a lot on Global. I've actually even faced a team that actually did that, almost lost, still won because of Lucy. But it's a thing. You go full heal team, which is also toxic, which I've also seen. I've seen Chino. I've seen Solterra. Last week. Cherry Vintage, Meta, just a complete heal team. And I'm sitting there looking at I won eventually because I bursted down 2 characters. But I'm looking at it like that fight, for one, took forever, and 2, I'm like, what? Like, what? And then they was like DPS on top of that. Like, Chino is a problem. Like, Chino is an absolute problem. Chino is like a DPS. She's a healer, but she's a damn problem. I'm like looking at the screen like, how did like this person actually sat here and made a heal team? Like, bruh. That's something I have not seen in JP. Like, you special. You real special. But I mean, it worked. You can do the same thing with the defense. Throw out the Esmera, throw out Sandoafon, throw out Ghostwalker. Put a Boal out there with him to kind of chill. And then you can throw out Salter, because Salter is more of a tanky healer than she actually is like a healer. She has a heal, but she throws out shields and she's tanky to spawn with that. That's toxic too. Or if you want to even be more toxic, you go 2 bells. 2 bells with that. That's really bad. Or you can go burst. All I'm really doing right now is trying to throw out all the ideas that people were asking me to talk about. You can go burst speed. Well, burst speed is the characters that are all really fast in the game. Like, you can go with Asmodeus, you can go with Thurza, you can go with who else? Do I not have her? No, I don't have the other version of her, but the other version of Raphael is one of the fastest characters in the game. And I believe the other version of Gabriel is one of the fastest characters in the game. You can go complete speed if you want to as well. Or you can go speed buff, which speed buff might be really interesting, because what that does, like with Nikita and Furka and I think Mammon and who else? Michael, all of that is speed buff, basically. So, and Asmodeus right here, Dark Arrows, Asmodeus, she does it as well. I don't think you do it. No, I don't think you do it. But that's interesting too. Luciana does it as well. So this will give you guys some ideas. Hopefully that helps you guys out. Gives you some things that you can actually go ahead and try to take a look at. Give you some build variety. As also, the last thing I'll talk about is the 5 stars. The Awakers. The Awakers have a use for the first 2 or 3 weeks of the game. After that, you just don't even really need them anymore, besides Furka and Luciana, in my opinion. Summer Luciana, that is. Beyond those 2 characters, you really... Except maybe Tentacle Girl. I always forget her name. Dahlia. You really don't need them after that, because the game does a really good job of giving you the sins and the virtues and the writers, and they kind of just take over at that point. So hope you guys understood. I definitely wanted to come back and give you guys another video just to talk about stuff. I know a lot of people would like more coverage on the game, and I try to do my best here and there. Like I said, I'm particularly busy, and I believe that Gah, like I said, G-A-H. I don't know how you're supposed to say that. I guess it's Gah, but I'll put the link in the description for him. So if he's going to be like doing it more consistently, if you are a fan of the game, by all means subscribe to him, and then maybe he will pick up the mantle, so to speak, and just kind of like give you guys the videos that you need, here and there, because I pretty much come in, and my goal has always been to keep the game active, because my videos go up in China on Bilibili's site, it goes up on TapTap's site, it goes up on other places, and what that does is that just brings new players into the game. And that's my whole goal. That's why I do it the way that I do it, because I just want new players to come into the game and keep it active, keep it up on YouTube, and keep the category active. And that was what was always my goal the entire time, and get the hype in, stuff like that, and just keep active in the game myself. So that is all I got for you guys in this video. Be legendary, and hopefully this helps out somebody along the way. Peace. Thank you, Legends, for getting to the end of the video. We do 3 to 4 videos every day. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be first in notification squad. I love everybody who stops by, and I will see you next video. Peace.